I feel like we are actually, it's almost like the mother is shaking us like, hey, come back to your body. This is your body. This is your power. This is your temple. This is your place to reside. It's about you. It's about you. Merry meet powerful women. April here on Natural Witchcraft. I have been avoiding doing this menopause magic video for a while, and that's because menopause is just so big. Perimenopause, that time leading up to it, the transition, the whole process, it's so big. It's been so big for me and within me, and it's been years of this. For many of you, you'll relate to this. It's been years of this. And then I thought to myself, you know what? Let's just meander our way through some chats about this. And the purpose of this channel, this new channel, is to have a place where I can just share with you about my life and the way I live my life and the natural magic that I practice, the natural witchcraft that I partake of. So here we are, and I look forward to this being a dynamic conversation between all of us. I look forward to your questions, your thoughts, your remarks that will keep this conversation going. So make sure to put them down below, all right? So the first thing I wanted to say is that you are powerful. You are powerful. And I wanted to ask everyone to indulge me here for just a moment, to close your eyes. Close your eyes and just take a moment. Yeah, actually do it unless you're driving. Take a deep breath in and let it out. And when you're ready, say out loud, I am powerful. I am powerful. And now I'm wondering, did your mind go somewhere else? You know, do you feel powerful? Do you feel empowered? I feel as though my journey into menopause has been about empowerment, has been about sovereignty. And what I really want to talk about today is the fact that I feel like the most important aspect of the menopausal process is to come back into our bodies, is to actually come back into our bodies, because we need to be here for the next stage of our life in a very powerful way, which is cronehood, right? And, you know, even if you've already passed through menopause, I think you can still do these workings. And if you're just at the beginning of this or just checking this out because this is my channel, I think you can still embrace some of these ideas. But specifically for this time in our lives and beyond, I think it's really about being in our bodies in a fresh way. And I feel like it's like we're becoming reacquainted with our bodies in a very new way. And so I was thinking about, you know, think back to before you had your first moon, before you bled your first time, like, you know, it was this mysterious thing. And or at least for me, I'm going to say for myself, let me know what, you know, the thoughts that you had about your first moon, like leading up to it. I was a really late bloomer. I didn't get my period until I was 15. Which now I look back and I'm like, thank goodness. But at the time, it seemed like everybody else was a part of this mystery that I wasn't a part of yet. So I was like eagerly anticipating this incredible, you know, thing. I don't know what I thought it was going to be, you know, like, oh, I'm going to be a woman and it's going to be this amazing thing. And, you know, and, you know, I got my period and it was kind of novel for a little bit. And then the doldrums of it set in. And, you know, then we get into later in life. And for myself, at least, you know, it just becomes this rhythm, this thing that you accept, this thing that you know. But there was this anticipation for me about like, I'm going to get my period and this is going to be a change of life. And then when I came to this place, I came to understand my body in a very different way. And it was super foreign at first because, you know, you're going through hormonal shifts as a kid. I don't know that we recognize those as hormonal shifts at the time. I think I just thought that life was hard and sucked. And that was really hormones. And I didn't have, like, I wasn't living with my mom. I was actually living with my dad and my stepmom at the time. So it's not like I had anybody to celebrate this with. My mom had talked to me about my period, of course, but I guess I should say, wow, I'm going to be talking about periods on here, you guys. I hope that doesn't trigger anyone. If you're watching this, I guess it doesn't. Anyway, there was this excitement. I wish there was more excitement. I wish that we were guiding our children into their moon cycle with a little bit more fanfare. And I'm hoping that, you know, if you have grandchildren, then that's maybe something that you'll think about doing when they get to that point. I think my granddaughter is, you know, probably at least 10 years away from that. So, but I think that there's at least there was for me, this idea of, I knew this was something I was going to do, and it was a part of who I was becoming. And I was excited for it. And so I have to ask myself why we don't have that now. Like, why is it that we don't have this excitement of, I'm going, you know, yay, perimenopausal, like it's happening, like it's the periods are getting longer, the periods are getting shorter, the periods are getting sparser, you know, whatever it is for you. And I want to say, and I will do a separate video on this. I had a really rough time with my uterus as I began this whole thing. It was really, really rough. And I know that for some of you, you're running the gamut of symptoms. You could be dealing with really painful symptoms. Some of you, it's just not much of anything. I know that there's a whole gamut of physicality that each one of us encounters at this time, and a myriad of emotions and so forth that go with this. And this is just video number 1. So let me just say that. And I just want to acknowledge those of you who are out there facing very difficult physical symptoms. So when I go to talk about the physicality of this, I just don't want you to think that I'm not acknowledging that there are people out there dealing with very painful or uncomfortable situations as they go through this in their body. Nonetheless, I come back to my original supposition, which is that this is a time for us to get reacquainted with our body and the power of our body being our own. I know that sounds really weird, but yes, your body being your own. And what I mean by that is I feel that in society, oh my gosh, this is such a big subject, but I'm going to stick to this, and I will come back and I will talk about all these other things, because I am up at 3 a.m. almost every night thinking about this transition and getting so many wonderful words of wisdom from the earth and my ancestors that I really want to share with you. But I digress. This is a time for us to come back to our bodies, to get to know our bodies, and to understand the power that flows through us. I feel like we are actually, it's almost like the mother is shaking us, like, hey, come back to your body. This is your body. This is your power. This is your temple. This is your place to reside. It's about you. It's about you. And so, you know, we live in a society where if you were a parent, then you know, and maybe some of you are still parents while you're going through this, like, and I should say, once a parent, always a parent. Well, children at home. Our children, our families, our careers, whatever it is, they tend to consume us in these years leading up to this time. And I feel as though we live in a society that disenfranchises us from our body. We are now, for those of you watching this right now while I'm filming this in December of 2022, we are literally just like 20 years, maybe, not 20, sorry, not 20 years. We are literally, I would say, 50 years, yeah. Just a mere 50 years of what I would call true liberation of occurring for the female gender. We live under a patriarchal umbrella of stigma and status quo that has dictated so much about what we are supposed to do and be as women, what our value is. And so for those of us doing this at this time in history, or maybe in the last 10 years and in the next 10, 20 years, I feel like there's something very special for us here to be able to come back and come into our bodies and reclaim our bodies as our own, because this society drives us away from our bodies, away from embodiment. Whether your face is in your phone or you are just so busy running the kids here and there, I think that we have been conditioned, by and large, most of us, not all of you, of course, I'm just generally speaking, to nurture, to provide, to anticipate, to make you feel better. And because of that, it draws us farther and farther away from our own needs and our own body. And the purpose of menopause, I really feel like one of the primary purposes of menopause is to say, come back to your body. Come back in here. You are valuable. You are valuable as an individual. You are valuable not because of what you give to anybody else. You are valuable because you are powerful. You are powerful. And I hope I'm making any sense here, you guys. You are powerful. And if you don't come back to your body, if you don't get into who you are, if you don't understand your own body, your own needs, your own cycles, your own rhythms, then you cannot really then you won't. I don't think you will. Or if I don't do this, let me just put this on an eye level, you guys. If I don't come back to my own body, if I don't make myself primary, if I don't understand these rhythms and cycles, if I don't value my own needs, if I don't learn how to voice those needs, if I don't learn how to identify those needs, if I don't learn how to meet those needs, then I will not transition into the crone in a way that is the most effectual for this planet, and especially at this time in history, And I'm sure everybody at every time says this. I feel like it is vital for me to recognize myself as separate from my family, separate from their needs, to disentangle myself from that. And it's like the earth set that up. It's programmed into my body during this time, because I can't ignore my body at this point. I cannot ignore what is going on here. The hot flashes, the mental fog, the up at 3 a.m., oh, now I'm super tired. Oh, now I'm absolutely wired. I mean, I am just all over the place. And I just feel like this is such a gift to us. I hope you will grab this gift and say, I'm going to grab this gift. I'm going to brush off everything that society says about this time. I'm not going to tell myself this is horrible. I'm not going to tell, oh God, the change has begun. No, it's like, celebrate. The change has begun, because now you get to check back in with yourself. You get to find your own body again. You get to re-enchant yourself with your body. You get to be re-empowered. You get to choose yourself. You get to learn how to choose yourself. You get to learn how to make yourself primary. And I think that's important. And I'm going to kind of end here because I think I've been blathering, 17 minutes, not too bad. I think this is important because I think for many years as women, we, in our younger years, in our bleeding years, we are the fire. We are the fire, and we take all of our energy and we put these logs onto the fire, and the fire warms everybody that comes around, and they cook their food on it, and they read by it, and they do all these different things by the fire that we provide. And I think that's a beautiful thing to be that, to do that for however you've done that with children, with family, with maybe you've taken care of a parent. Maybe you had foster kids. Maybe you never had children, but your life has been about, you fill in the blank. But I don't know that and maybe you won't relate to this. Let me know down below if you do. But it's time to move from being the fire to being a lantern. And to me, it reminds me of the Hermit card, standing there with the lantern, holding it up, where we become a single flame that belongs to us as the crone. And this single flame is our sovereignty, our wisdom, the joy of living, that which we've gleaned, our ability to embody ourselves and be powerful, to be full of power, and to do so as a single light, not as multiple flames for everyone, but a single light. And our light is for the world, but it's to be dispersed in a very different way. A lantern is something very different than a fire. Embodiment. You are powerful. I am powerful. I want to challenge, if you made it all this way here, I want to challenge you to spend some time saying that to yourself, breathing and saying, I am powerful, and seeing what comes up for you. I have had a lot of things come up for me. Like I say, I am powerful, and immediately, like, I'm not powerful, I'm scattered, I'm all the knots, or I don't feel powerful today, or damn, I want to be powerful. Some days I feel powerful. I mean, I really feel it. I feel like I feel like all the pieces are here. And I think this is an important aspect of this period of being called back to our bodies, being called back to reestablishing contact, reinforcing contact with our bodies, being our bodies, learning to embody, I think it's a re-embodying. And it's such a profound time. So anyway, I'm rambling. This has been really long. This is just the first installment. The biggest thing that I am seeing for myself is that the real magic right now, the real magic for me in this time is in coming back to my body and seeing the things that keep me from coming back to my body. It's in pulling apart the ideas from society that want to poo-poo this time in my life and what I'm going through. Want me to suffer quietly, or I just refuse. I refuse to accept this as negative. I reject that completely. And I embrace my body, this process, the magic of this time being the shaking, coming back to my body and seeing where that power comes through, how I feel powerful, how the energy is moving through my body, what that means for me in every moment, whether it's a hot flash or being dizzy or not remembering what I'm doing in this room, even trying to keep my train of thought on this, you guys. I'm doing my best. I feel so full. I feel like this first video was super messy, but if you take away anything from this, I want you to take away, I feel like one of the biggest purposes of menopause is to come back to your body, to claim it for yourself, and to realize that you are powerful. And in future videos, I want to share with you how I am working with my power surges, working with the foggy memory, working with all of these things that I'm feeling that are happening right now, even like my hair falling out, all of those things, the things that I'm doing to bring me back to myself, and how they are creating more magic in my life, how they are drawing me into a way of being that feels magical, incredibly magical. And I hope it'll feel magical for you too. So anyway, thanks for being here. Please let me know what you think. I know this was a super ramble at, looks like 22 minutes. And a blessing for you today, that you may know that you're powerful, that no matter what story pops up in your head, no matter what thoughts occur to you when you say to yourself, I am powerful, that you realize that this is part of your journey, and that you can embrace those thoughts and know that they are leading you into yourself. Please lay down. Hagrid, I'm gonna put you out if you were gonna click clack around the whole time. Go lay down. Go lay down. Lay down on the carpet right there. Please, please lay down on the carpet.